Let's talk about 5 money rules I swear by in my 30s as a millennial living a life of financial freedom. I do have my list because I want this to be very conversational. So, the number one is never rely on one stream of income. In this day and age, with the inflation everywhere and the uncertainties that come with life, it is important. This is my philosophy, this is my perspective, the software that runs my mindset, never relying on one stream of income. And that is because you just never can tell. Remember COVID-19, a lot of people saw layoffs, like massive layoffs, and that is why it's just important for you to actually make different sources of income. In my vision board, I've actually added the various sources of income. If you're wondering, one of the things I do, we have the investing, right? We have dividend investing, we have the royalty income, I have books I have written so that on monthly basis I get money coming in. You also have your earned salary, so that's the third stream of income. If you are also into social media, you can have money from sponsorship, from your online content, from making videos here on YouTube. So it is important to never rely on one stream of income. The other thing is increasing income instead of being fixated on the expenses. This is something I realized. My default, I guess, for the longest actually ever is, oh my goodness, I really need to track this, I need to track that. But then you come to the realization that yes, you have actually budgeted, you've actually tracked, you've done everything you need to do, but then your salary is not enough. So it is really not about the tracking, because you've done that, you've budgeted, but that there comes a time for you to say that, okay, you know what, instead of being so fixated, this money cannot go this, how about increasing my sources of income? I think this ties to the first money rule of really not relying on one stream of income. The third thing I do is budgeting for freedom. This is so interrelated, but budgeting for freedom, I see budgeting as a clear map on where my money is coming from. How often is it coming and where is it going to? And my husband and I, we use the zero budgeting method, where we assign how much we need for groceries, for rent, for eating out and stuff like that, and then how much do we need to save to put into our investment. That tracking has actually given us freedom. A lot of people see budgeting as restriction and all that. It is actually not that. It is a tool that shows you, okay, this is how you're doing. Because before we started tracking our expenses, we just thought that, you know, our grocery shopping takes about $1,000, but when we started tracking, we realized that we were spending even more. And then when we continued tracking, we realized that, oh my goodness, okay, we're actually spending less. That's because we've had the data, we have the structure of, okay, this is how much we spent last month. Like literally, I know how much we spend every single week, because after shopping, I write it down. So for my family, we, at least for this, from January to April, I can tell you how much we spend for groceries. That way, we're able to avoid lifestyle creep. And that takes us to the fourth rule I live by, which is avoiding lifestyle creep. When you start advancing professionally, you will have bonuses, you will have a lot of money flowing through your hand and all that. And if you have the mindset of scarcity, or if you lacked something in the past, perhaps you did not get good clothes or you did not eat good food the way you wanted it, you may find yourself indulging into those things because you want to satisfy the lack you had in the past. So budgeting helps us, especially using the zero budgeting method, helps us to avoid the lifestyle creep, so that once we don't say, okay, this is the time for us to splurge, this is the time to buy the designer and all that. We're thinking of money as a seed that when sown, it becomes a full-time employee for you, so that it brings more money even when you're sleeping. And by the time that employee goes out and brings more money, before you know, it starts bringing children, to the point that you don't really think about retirement. You really don't think about working and grinding until you're 65 and all that, because you've already set those money as children, as employees, to do the work for you. So that's our perspective about avoiding lifestyle creep. The fifth money rule that I swear by as a financially literate in my 30s is waiting for the right time to take action. The best time to take action when it comes to investing into books, becoming financial literate, attending conferences, keeping friends with people that are going places, that have intention, they have a plan for their life, or even starting to invest, or buying a land, buying a property, or just doing something for the future. The best time to start would be like 10 years ago, or when you were born, right? The other best time to start is now. We believe that it is better for us to start blindfolded. That is an extra motivation for us to say, oh my goodness, you know what, we've invested into this, what are we going to do? The other thing the best thing we do is we get the minimum amount of information we need for us to start, and we don't allow it to exceed more than a month. So if we want to go into something, we're like, you know what, for this 1 month, we're going to be researching into it, we're going to be doing our due diligence. We understand that we will not understand the whole concept, the dynamics that goes into investing or buying stock and all that, but then we've taken the action, and then we just continue learning. Life is about taking the risk, learning, adjusting, failing forward, because that is how you're going to win. Now, I love talking about financial literacy, and that is why I'm feeling so good to give you a bonus point, which is improving on your financial literacy. As a woman talking to you, the best thing, one of the powers you can have and a gift you can give to yourself is financial literacy. I have read books from Robert Kiyosaki, people that are doing well, because I do believe that when you read these books, these are people pouring out their wealth of experience, their failures, their wins, their gains, their lessons, and talking to you as a mentor. So I have read a lot of these books, from the Robert Kiyosaki series all the way to The Richest Man in Babylon, The Psychology of Money, and all that. I'm going to leave the exact books I have read. I have my Amazon storefront. If you want to kind of view the books I have read, I'm going to leave the link to look at them. Maybe get some copies for yourself in the description. So if you're a millennial, or if you're in your 20s or any other age, tell me the money rules you live by for financial freedom. And do not forget to please click on the like button. Stay subscribed for more of these videos, and I'm going to see you all in my next video. Bye for now.